Hey everybody, welcome back to Dino Comics Forever, and today we are going to continue with our fictional rock band, the Screaming Dreamers, and now we're going to move on to the Giutarist. And first of all, I want to thank Ninja Case, a good friend of mine, who suggested the name for the drummer from our very first video. He suggested the name Hawk, or something to do with Hawk, or Mad Hawk to be specific. And I decided to change her name to Maddie Madhawk. I think it fits well. And, okay. And now we're gonna, now I'm gonna get started with the video for the punk rocker. Or, I mean, the guitarist. Okay, with this, with the, Christ, why is English such a difficult language? I feel like I'm on the spot, even though I'm not. Christ. Okay, so with this particular member, I wanted her to have a petite build, so make her the shortest member of the group, and not really give her that many curves. Just really make her, well, you know, just like I said, petite. I actually struggled a lot with what she should wear, because in a way I felt like even though she is the shortest member of the group, she also should be the youngest, a bit more mischievous, and maybe a bit, and you know, like, she's the one who gets in trouble a lot, so that's... At first, I wanted to have her hair spiky, but then I was kind of confused as to whether or not it would look like Lisa Simpson, so I kind of drifted from spiky to frizzy, and then eventually went to this messy look, which I think really worked out quite well. Happy about that. Happy accident. These things happen a lot. When I go for one idea and kind of sketch it out, it kind of looks different than what I intended, and then I kind of go with it. I mean, I'm pretty sure it happens to you guys a lot, too, but it's these happy accidents we have to be thankful for, because it's thanks to those that we get these really cool character designs. And when it came to the guitar, I also wasn't exactly sure what I wanted. I went for the, well, classic kind of electric guitar, but then I thought maybe not. It started out looking a bit too thick, like a bass guitar, and I specifically wanted her to be the lead guitarist. And then I decided, you know what, might as well just go pretty simple and go for the Flying V, which is a very common design, but it's iconic, because I need to figure out the better way to draw guitars, so hopefully when I do the bass guitarist, it'll be a lot more easier this time around. And I think I've mentioned this before when it comes to drawing female figures. I always have a lot of trouble with the faces, specifically the nose and the mouth, because... like I've said in previous videos before, if it's too angular, it has too many, like, sharp edges, it'll start looking like a man. And, I mean, when I try that, my figures look like men, but, I mean, I've seen lots of other artists who actually really know how to use sharp edges and sharp angles, like an artist I admire, Adrie van Goethe. He's a Dutch artist who's actually known for creating one of the very first manga written and illustrated by a Dutch person. And I thought that was really cool because he himself knew that, you know what, the comic industry in Holland needs to change. I mean, we can't stick with the old classic stuff for too long, like Tintin and Lucky Luke. I mean, we have to, you know, expand. And so he made this manga. It wasn't exactly well-liked, but that's because he did that, I think, around the 90s or so, or 80s. But it was a real shame, but I mean, he still got a lot of recognition for, you know, being one of the trailblazers who did that. And I'm actually really thankful to work alongside him in the magazine Hollands Metaal. And, you know, if you don't know that magazine, not that you would, it's pretty small press, I really recommend you look it up. I'll put a link in the description below where you could find it. I mean, yeah, mostly it's in Dutch, but I mean, there's a lot of comics in there that are in English, particularly mine. And it's just nice to, well, you know, it's a sort of an ode on that old heavy metal magazine. I think they still produce it. It's sort of like an anthology book with lots of different comic stories, usually short. And it's really fun. I mean, by all means, if you have the chance, look it up. Okay? And you know what? I'm actually going to keep this video nice and short because I don't want it to be too long. I get the feeling that the best thing to do with these videos is to keep them nice and simple. And you know what? Even for a time-lapse, I think that'll work out because, I mean, nobody wants to sit through like a 7-minute or a 10-minute time lapse or something. They just want to be over and done with quickly. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up, and hopefully the result is to fruition. Alright, and it came out not exactly what I intended in the first place, but I think it came out quite well. I mean, at first we didn't go for the spiky hair, but go for this sort of messy look. And you know what, when it comes to the inking, I think I'll change the stockings into knee socks or just torn up socks. You know, just play around with it a little. And then when it comes to the makeup, really Photoshop it to look like it was smeared on. Just play, like I said, I'll play around with it. And like with the drawing before, if anybody has any cool ideas on what her name, backstory, and origin should be, I would very much love to hear it in the comments below. And please don't forget to subscribe and to like. And please check out my Instagram if you're interested in any more of my art. So, thanks again for watching, and see you later.